Welcome back to Borak Bersama Maybank. As US-China tensions eased over the weekend, tech in particular, anything related to AI has come back into the picture once again. As such, our research team has been hard at work trying to identify a stock that could potentially take advantage of the market's current moment. In today's episode, we've got our head of retail research, T, to take through his latest initiation on the power infrastructure specialist called MN Holdings. Welcome back to the show, T.
Thanks, Najib. Thanks for having me again.
So, T, I understand that the company you wanted to highlight today is not an AI or data center related counter, but rather something that's more upstream. Could you tell us what sort of business the company is involved in?
Well, Najib, before we get into the details, let's take a step back and see what the company has to offer. MN Holding is basically a specialist in infrastructure utilities construction services with a strong presence across Peninsular Malaysia. The company is a certified G7 contractor, which makes them qualified to undertake both private and government projects of unlimited contract value, and this gives them access to a wide range of tender opportunities nationwide. In essence, the company operates through two business segments. First one is actually underground utility engineering services. The second one is actually substation engineering services, both of which are critical enablers in Malaysia's power infrastructure network. For the underground works, basically the company is involved in the installation of underground power cables, fiber optic networks, water pipes, storage, as well as drainage systems. For substation engineering services, the company offers end-to-end EPCC services for electrical substations. And when you look at the clientele, basically for these segments, the clients are mainly from the national utility players like TIB, as well as private sector clients such as data centers, as well as industrial facilities. A bit on the people running the company, MN Holdings is actually managed by three directors. Dato Clement, basically he oversees overall operation and corporate strategy. Dato Loy, who leads the underground utilities operations, and Dato Dang, which leads the substation engineering operations.
Okay, so to summarize, the company, MN Holdings, is basically an engineer of power facilities, which is basically needed to support and power the data centers that is being built here in Malaysia. So, moreover, they are also experts in constructing sewage and flood mitigation projects as well, which could help in basically revenue growth. So, let's talk numbers. The company's background is compelling enough, but how do they fare in terms of earnings and valuations? Could you just give us some color on that, plus the team's recommendation for the stock?
Well, let's look at the company's track record first. On the top line, revenue grew at a 2-year CAGR of about 57% from FY22 to FY24. And this is largely driven by the surge in substation engineering projects. Gross margin has been relatively consistent, above 20%. Likewise, when you look at the core net profits, as well as core net profit margins, they have been steadily growing as well. So beyond FY24, we forecast core net profit to grow at a 3-year CAGR of 49.7%, quite close to 50%. And this is actually driven by record high outstanding order book of about 1.16 billion. Bear in mind, they also have an active tender pipeline. At this juncture, I think it is about 1.77 billion ringgit. And in terms of valuation, the stock is currently trading at an attractive FY25 PR of about 13.7 times. So when you compare against the average PE multiple for MEP companies, which stands for mechanical engineering as well as plumbing companies, it fares quite nicely, because I think if you look at the sector average, it was approximately 17.3 times. So when you benchmark against the industry peers, which we have a target PE of about 17 times, we think this is justifiable, okay, given this company's superior earnings growth visibility, robust tender pipeline, and more so expanding footprint in the high growth data center as well as utility infrastructure segments. I think taking all these factors into account, we initiate coverage on the stock with a buy rating. We have a target price of 169, 1 ringgit 69 cent, and this is pegged to a target PR of 17 times.
All right then. Thanks, Steve. Now, before we wrap this up, in your opinion, what are the 3 reasons investors should look to this stock as a potential buy?
Okay, first of all, MN Holding is a proxy to Malaysia power infrastructure modernization. So I think when you look at the company being a power infrastructure specialist, it is set to benefit from grid upgrades under TMB, the Naga's RP4 program. It is set to benefit from rising demand from data centers as well as semiconductors, and also it will benefit from renewable energy, the shift to renewable energy under the National Energy Transition Roadmap. Second, the company has multiple growth drivers to support long-term growth. Aside from the high voltage infra mentioned earlier, MN Holdings is also expanding into adjacent segments such as sewerage as well as flood mitigation. And driven by this, we project revenue to grow at a 3-year CAGR of 47.3%. And finally, its order book is expanding. It is also backed by a healthy tender book of 1.77 billion ringgit. And with a strong foothold in infrastructure utilities and broadening presence within the utility segments, we also see company having opportunity to expand its footprint into East Malaysia. And in short, the company is actually well positioned for a solid long-term growth ahead.
Great. So just to sum up for the benefit of our audience, so basically MN Holdings is a proxy to Malaysia's power infrastructure modernization. They also have multiple growth drivers to support their long-term outlook, and also they already have a sizable order book of around 1.7 billion in terms of their tender pipeline, and that is also expanding opportunities into Sarawak as well as practically into East Malaysia. All right, thanks T. That's a wrap for today. Aside to the audience, you can catch our latest research report on your Maybank Trade MY app. All you need to do is just head over to the Insights tab and you will be able to find it there. And for those who are looking to trade stocks, structured warrants or futures, you can apply for a CDS or trading account online via the QR code on the screen now. But if you need a personal touch, you can also approach our sales representatives and they can help get you started with a trading account. With that, we'll catch everyone in the next episode. But until then, this is Najib Hussain signing off.